Good morning. Today, I'm going to share my analysis for next week, on my 8 favorite financial exchanges, on weekly and daily charts. Trend and directionality are bullish. Even in this week, the price has made a neutral movement, attempting to go both up and down. Therefore, the situation has remained unchanged compared to last week. During the next week, I will evaluate any bullish signs. An interesting pattern could be a candle capable of breaking out of the previous week's high. I recommend to trade carefully. Often the price undergoes a short retracement before attempting to generate a new high. Trend and directionality are bullish. During the week, the price has made a downside attempt, weak, but certainly better than AUD/JPY. On the daily chart, we can see that the price touched the daily level, being rejected the first time, and closing the week without having definitively exceeded it. The downside attempt is very weak. For the moment there are no clear signs that the price wants to reverse directionality, which therefore remains bullish. During the next week, I will evaluate any bullish signs. I advise to operate with particular caution. If the price were to definitively exceed the daily level, it could try to reach the next level, which is the daily EMA 100. An interesting pattern could be the price bounce off the daily level, followed by a nice bullish candle. As for the lower timeframes, I could evaluate any bearish signals. The trend is bullish, while the direction is uncertain. During the week, the price has made a downward attempt, retracing half of the move and closing with a very undecided candle. On the daily chart, you can see that the price has exceeded the EMA 20, and it seems to be heading towards the white moving average. Despite this, the directionality remains uncertain, as both the bullish and bearish signals are not particularly bright. During the week, I will be evaluating signals in both directions. An interesting bullish pattern could be a candle capable of breaking the daily level and the high of the previous week. An interesting bearish pattern could be a candle capable of breaking out of the daily level. I recommend to operate with caution since the direction is uncertain. Both the trend and the directionality are bullish. During the week, the price has made a very small bullish move, closing with a broadly neutral candle. Once again, the weekly analysis remains unchanged as the underlying conditions have not changed. On the daily chart, you can see the large bearish divergence present on the MACD oscillator. During the next week, I will evaluate any bullish signs. An interesting pattern could be the price bounce on the daily EMA 20, followed by a nice bullish candle. I advise to operate with caution. The MACD oscillator moving averages clearly show how tight the bullish movement is. This means that the price could undergo a retracement phase before attempting a new rise. Trend and directionality are bullish. During the week, the price attempted to go both up and down, closing with a neutral candle. The large bearish divergence continues to hold on the daily chart, which could cause the price to drop. Directionality remains bullish for the moment. During the next week, I will evaluate any bullish signs. An interesting pattern could be a candle capable of breaking out of the previous week's high. Trend and directionality are bearish. During the week, the price attempted a rise, but retracing more than half of the movement and closing with a candle of indecision. Significant bullish divergence is visible on the daily chart, present on the MACD oscillator. Despite this, directionality remains bearish. During the week, I will evaluate any bearish trades. An interesting pattern could be a candle capable of breaking out of the daily level. trend, and directionality are bearish. During the week, the price has made a very modest bullish movement, which did not invalidate the movement. An evident lateral phase can be noted. On the daily chart, we can see the beautiful bullish divergence present on the MACD oscillator, which seems to indicate a possible break in the upward price. I recommend not trading on this exchange for the moment, at least on the daily chart, as the price is in a sideways phase. Trend and directionality are bearish. During the week, the price started to fall again, even though the candle barely broke the previous week's low. On the daily chart, are visible, as always, the numerous bullish divergences that show when the movement is in a very advanced phase. As usual, I will evaluate any bearish signals only on the lower timeframes, as on the daily one it would be more difficult, and therefore more risky, to reach the risk-reward ratio of 1:1. Thank you, and see the next week.